Hello and welcome to this video for Raid Shadow Legends. In this series, I'm going to lead you through the processes of starting a new game in Raid Shadow Legends. So if you're a new player, maybe you've clicked on one of our referral links or one of my referral links. Maybe you've just picked up the game randomly and decided to try it. If you're a new player, I'm going to guide you through getting your account to somewhere in the vicinity of level 10. I have to check where the progression rewards, the first tier, is. I'm going to go through all the different steps that you should be aware of as you play this game to help you avoid a lot of the pitfall, in fact all of the pitfalls if I can help it, that I fell into when I first started the game. I'm giving you the benefit of a year roughly of experience playing the game, everything from your starting champion to how to work with your gear, leveling it up, all of this kind of stuff. We're going to go over it all and explain how the game works. So I have not shown you the beginning video to the game, so that way it's not spoiled for you. So if you decide you want to play the game after watching this video, you can get the game and use the referral link in the video below if you'd like. And then you can download the game and give it a try, and then you can see what happens before we get to the screen. But we're going to proceed from this point forward. So everybody tells you in all the walkthroughs you're going to read that you should pick Kale first. And the first account that I created, my main account, I did use Kale. I picked Kale. And I'm going to use Kale in this one. I could be more adventuresome and use somebody else. Elhain would be a good secondary choice. Each of these champions has what are called an A1 and an A2, and I think they have A3s. Some of them have what are called, and I can't think of the word right now, but something if they're leading the group that they provide to the whole group, if they're in a leadership position. For some reason the word escapes me. Anyway, Kale here has the best attack. He does a poison with his first or A1 attack, and he does, let me see if I can get my memory right, I think it's A2 is what's called an AoE or area of damage poison attack. So he's attacking all enemies. So the first one's one enemy, the second one's all enemies, and then it's like 2 or 3 or some kind of number, and I think it's random enemies for his A3, and it's an additional poison kind of attack. So he's the most powerful of all of these, and you can take him all the way into the end game, as they call it, as you proceed and get very far up into the game. Elhain has a single attack. I believe it's a single attack, or it's a 1 or 2 time attack for a single target. In her A1, her A2, she has an AoE, and that AoE can be devastating. You'll see her in some arena teams, and she can wipe you out pretty quickly, especially when she's geared properly. And by geared, I mean the artifacts, which is basically your armor, amulets, masteries, all the things that you do to improve her. She can be made to be very powerful. And then I don't remember right now what her A3 is, and I might have the order confused. My mind is not recalling right now. Gaelic, he has a single enemy attack for his A1. He has also an AoE, just like Elhain, just like Kale on his A2 or A3. He seems to be the weakest of the attackers, and I don't remember his other attack. I didn't work very much with Elhain or Gaelic in my main account. I just kind of forgot about him and stuck with Kale. I did work, though, with Aethel. When I got her, I leveled her up really good. She has an attack, A1, that hits 3 times, and then she does an attack where she charges herself up and she gets an extra turn, and then she can do her AoE attack, and it can also be very massively damaged. I don't see her much in the arena, though. I don't think people prefer her as much as Elhain. I'm not sure why. But that's your choices here. Each of these champions represents a different faction. We've got Elhain is of the High Elves, Kale is of the Dark Elves, Gaelic is of the Orcs, and Aethel is of the Sacred Order. Okay? And I would advise you pick Kale because you're going to get the most utility out of him. I might not. I might actually change my mind and decide on Elhain or Aethel and just give myself a bit of a handicap and a challenge. I'm not entirely sure. But I would regret it if I didn't get Kale, because Kale will come in handy later when you get to Clan Boss. You do have a chance to pull these because they're rare champions. You can pull them eventually, what I call pulling. It's actually summoning, and I'll go over that shortly. You'll be able to summon these later in the game, but it could be a long time until you see them, so just be aware of that. Whatever one you pick, that's all you're going to have for a while. You may never see the other ones. So here it goes. Okay, here we can show you the different attacks that he has. Anyway, he does this: attacks one enemy, 80% chance of placing a 2.5% poison debuff for 2 turns. It's based off of attack because he's an attack-based champion. They all are. Attacks all enemies. This is his second skill, or A2. Fills the turn meter of this champion by 25% for each enemy killed. This is based off of attack again. This will happen once you see that these stars are now purple, and right now they are gold or yellow. This happens when he is what's called ascended. You do that with potions. We'll go over that later. His A3 is attacks 4 times at random. Has a 40% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. Here we have Elhain. She has Keen Shot as her first attack. Attacks one enemy, places an extra hit. The attack is critical. So what we would do with Elhain is we would want to get this crit rate up so she does more critical attacks and uses that first skill. Attacks one enemy, then all enemies, places a 30% increase critical rate buff on this champion for 3 turns if this target is killed. Damage is based on attack again. Okay, and so that's her A2, that's the lightning arrow. One enemy, then all enemies. So that's actually 2 AoEs. And then attacks all enemies 2 times, Valley of Death, based off of attack. Maybe I will go ahead and pick her this time around, change my mind. Again, an R skill of HP in all battles by 15%. So she's in the leader, just like Kale. Everybody gets their HP increased by 15%. Here we have Gallic, or Gaelic. His first attack is attacks an enemy 2 times. Attacks all enemies, places a 30% increased speed buff on his champion for 2 turns. Attacks 4 times at random, has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, has a 30% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns if the target has more than 2 debuffs. So he benefits if the target has more than 2 debuffs. And that is not really an AoE, I guess. He doesn't really have an AoE, so I apologize on misleading you on that. And then this one does have an AoE. We have our first attack is called, I'll just say it attacks an enemy 3 times, has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weakened debuff for 2 turns on the last hit. That weakened debuff is very important, and it's very low chance of getting. It's like a 1 in 4 time of her hitting, I guess, every time she hits on the first time, but that will give you a lot of advantage over some of the opponents you face later in the game. Attacks all enemies, places a 25% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns, places a 30% increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns if this champion's current HP is less than 50%. Gains an extra turn. And again, you get HP in all battles. I'm actually going to choose Elhain in this one. I'm going to go a different route. You should pick Kale though, but you can follow me if you want. It shouldn't be too confusing. The techniques and stuff I'm going to show you are going to be the same. I'm just kind of excited to try a different way of going about it. Once you have selected your champion, click on Choose.
So be it.
Okay, so they have given us to start 50,000 silver. Now, I don't know if your amounts are the same, so let me know. Do you have 50,000 silver, 5 out of 10 of your arena tokens, 18 of 18 energy, and 10 gems? Let me know if that's what you have. We'll look around and see what else you have. So, what we have here, we have mystery shards. These are the most common shard to get, and as she said, you can get common or 1-star champions, uncommon, which is 2-star champions, or rare, which is 3-star like the one we just picked. Ancient Shard gives you rare, epic, and legendary. Void Shard gives you rare, epic, and legendary. And Sacred gives you epic and legendary. Legendary champions are the theoretically best and strongest champions in the game, but not always. There are a lot of very legendary quality epics. Some rares, like Kale, are considered to be legendary quality in a lot of ways. So it's kind of flexible. You see right here there's a 2x chance on the sacred shards. So if we had a sacred shard, we would have a 2 times chance at getting the odds would be increased 2 times for us getting an epic or a legendary. And I will try and demonstrate that if I can later. I don't know if they'll let me click anywhere else other than this button. We'll go over the rest of it as soon as we can. So we're going to follow her instructions and we're going to summon. So it looks like we're getting
Excellent.
a 2-star.
You summoned an attack-type champion with great attack and support skills. Let's head to the campaign map and prepare your champions for their first taste of combat.
Okay, so she's telling us to exit out. What we have here is a champion by the name of Sniper. She's of the Dark Elf faction. And I can't show you anything yet because it's wanting me to exit out here. I gotta play follow the leader to start. So just go ahead and follow the arrows for now until we get free of that and get everything done. So I'm going to campaign.
Behold, Karok Castle, seat of King Tabor. This is where your journey begins.
Okay, so as you progress through your campaign missions, you will reach these various goals. And it keeps track here. You got part 1 of 5, so there's 5 of these screens. I think of these 3, and then this is the last thing at the end when you get done. And then you've got these stars. This is, I guess, the total amount of points. So it's looking like, if I'm doing my math right, we're dealing with, what, 15? No, that would be 3. It would be less than that. It would be 5, and it'd be like, I don't know, 9. Alright, anyway, your first thing is going to be 15 points. Yeah, this is 45. Okay, so it's 45 for each one of these 5 screens, I'm assuming. Or it might be a little more. The grand total will come to 252, which will give you this.
Karok will not fall easily. Like all places in Teleria, there are multiple stages of defenders. You must defeat all stages to move forward with your journey.
Okay, so we're going to continue to follow the leader, and each one of these that you saw there on the map, and that map goes over a ways, will have a little video like that for you to watch as you proceed. Okay, so we're going to put, they're telling me to do that. You saw that there was a leader text on this position. That means now we have this aura skill, and then we have this one as my backup.
Notice that your leader has an aura skill. These provide special bonuses to all allied champions in a battle.
It says right up here like they say, yeah. And now I'll press start. So you can go in auto. I don't recommend you do that yet. And then this is your speed, and this is information which shows you a little bit about what's going on with your team and your opponents. These are the various attacks you can pick from. Keep in mind that the beginning waves of these dungeons are going to be a little weaker than the end ones. So in this case, what I'm going to do instead is I'm only going to attack with the first attack right here. And I just clicked on him to do that. Same here. Now, she has been stunned, which means she's not going to be able to help me. And I didn't do as much damage as I wanted for my first attack, so I'm wondering if I should hit a little harder to get through this. We'll have to see. Now she's under a decreased attack, or is that a decreased strength? You can go to info and find out. Decreased attack 25%. Okay, now he is so weak that she should be able to kill him. So I want to use Elhain to kill this guy. Or at least try to. Okay, so she can finish him off. She can finish him off. And we can now proceed. Every skill has a cooldown of the second and the third, or the A2 and A3, and sometimes there'll be even a fourth. Those will all have, everything will have a cooldown except I think for your A1, as I remember and understand it correctly. Now we have where I have an advantage here. You see these arrows? This yellow means that I do not have an advantage or disadvantage because we're probably the same affinity. But she, however, I have 2 green arrows above her. That means she is the one that I would be strong against. If I am magic, then I'm strong against spirit, which is what she must be if I have all my facts straight. Now to find out if I'm right, let's take a peek. And I am. She's spirit. I'm magic, so I'm stronger than her. Remember the little triangle we just saw, and I'm equal with the same affinity as him. So hitting her means that I will do more damage. I'm going to go ahead and do my second skill so I can wipe her off the map a little quicker. Now, she does not have any advantage because they're both the same affinity. I'm just going to do a normal attack. And this number next to us is our current level. So we're all at level 1 right now. This is the time we've spent playing this round. This is how many, there's 3 total, I guess, rounds or fights or groups in this that we're fighting. It says rounds. We'll just say we have 3 total rounds. This is our final round. Now I'm going to pull out the big guns. Now notice she had a cooldown on the other one. If you looked and saw, you'd saw that she had it said like a -1 or -2 or negative something on it. And I have one now, a 1-star sword. This sword is of the life, I want to say the life set. I need to double check that statement. I'm trying to go by memory here. And I also have some silver. Okay, now it's telling me to go to the Bastion. That's the main page that we always report to when we're in between whatever we're going to be doing. This is for the map. I don't think I've ever clicked on this to see what that is. I guess that takes me back to the campaign battles map. And this, of course, takes us to the champions.
Go to your champion collection and equip that artifact.
So we got to play follow the dots again.
All champions under your control. Each champion can equip up to 6 artifacts.
Now, keep in mind that when you equip an artifact, it'll cost you some silver to de-equip it. I don't know if that's going to be the case with the 1-stars. I don't really want to equip this because this is garbage to me.
See that? Your artifact has already strengthened this champion. Better yet, artifacts can be equipped in sets to provide special bonuses and effects.
Okay, when is she going to let me alone so I can just do my own thing? Because I want to end this video here. She's not leaving me alone yet. Still have to play fall. I don't remember this when I first started almost a year ago. Okay, so I guess I'm on my own now. I'm going to go ahead and do the second again with her. And then I will demonstrate what that has done with her. Now, as you fight, you're going to be leveling up. Yeah, see, this 4 means it's a cooldown of 4 turns. So it'll take her 4 turns to cool down before she can use that again. Always aim at the person that has the green arrows over their head if you can help it, because that's going to help you in the long run. You'll be able to kill them easier. And you notice there's no cooldown showing up for the A1, the first attack. Okay, I'm pulling out the big guns. I'm going to have her use her strongest attack on this one. And actually hit the other one, so that's good. You want to try and keep all your champions alive if you can. That will give you extra stars and bonuses.
You leveled up.
Now, for these upgrades, do not go past level 4 on these 1-stars. They are garbage, and we're not going to want to invest much money in them, but they're going to force me to do it, so I've got to spend some of my silver on this. Now, the other way you can do it is over here, but they're not letting me click over there, but only go to 4 over here. Don't go to 8. I'll show you what to do when you want to upgrade something to 8 in a later video. You are guaranteed the first 4 upgrades.
When you upgrade artifacts to certain levels, they gain new substats, giving your champions an even bigger boost.
So I've got some crit rate now. Okay, so I have not seen this. We'll go ahead and go through and see what we can. I really should do this in another video because we are going a little long. I want to keep these videos short. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's cut this video off here, but we'll return. I won't even click on anything. I'll start right back up to record a second, and I will see you in the next video. If you like this video, please subscribe. Thumb up. If you liked the video, please give a thumb up. Thumb down if you did not like. Provide feedback if you give a thumb down. Let me know what I can do to improve. And subscribe to get more videos like this. And I will come back in the next part and we'll just start collecting all of this stuff and going through all of this main screen and getting that taken care of. So I'll see you in the next video.